time.
What's going on, everyone?
Hello.
This is Melissa.
And you are?
Okay,
Greg.
we're out of sync.
Sorry, I missed it.
I'm Gregory.
And this is Gregory.
Rise Conscious Fitness.
All right, so nice to be back for Red Couch Conversations.
Yes.
Today, well, let's talk about who we are. So we are Rise Conscious Fitness, as he said, and what we do here is we help people live their best lives by changing the way they move through space, move through life, the way they eat food, they fuel their bodies, and the way we think, and all of this in a very positive way, so we can gain more confidence in life and just feel better and
feel better, look better, be better.
Right? So. Who doesn't want that? So this is kind of what we do. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Don't you like when I say that?
I knew it was coming.
I know. Okay, great. And this morning we have a very hot topic. I'm really excited. I love this stuff.
Hot topic with a W.
Hot topic. Because we want to talk about why diets don't work. And that's such a big topic, I feel like, because it's such a big thing out there, right? Everyone is trying different diets. People are jumping from...
There's always a new trend, an old trend.
Yeah, so, should I go vegan? Should I go paleo? Should I cut out sugar? Should I cut out fat?
Should I just eat brownies?
Should I do
just
fasting?
eat McDonald's?
The cookie diet or whatever.
Should I only eat between 5 and 6?
Oh my gosh, yes. So there's a lot of stuff out there. It's so much confusion when it comes to food, nutrition especially. And we understand. First of all, we want to say if you're confused today and you're watching this video about nutrition, it's not your fault. Quite honestly, it's pretty disgusting out there. We've been there. We've been through the trenches. We've seen it. I've myself for years been seeking information and trying to figure out what was the best thing to do. And it's very hard to say that even though that we have a lot of knowledge and background experience right now, we understand more human physiology, biology, and different concepts of health. We have a broader perspective on these things. We can never say that we know everything, and we always encourage our clients to go out there and figure out what works for them, test it, assess it, even though we know a lot of the basics of what we teach are just basic human biology. So this work is based on again, basic principles of energy production. We follow the work very closely of Dr. Ray Pete. We worked also with East West Healing. We've studied some of their stuff and down in California, they're amazing. You should check them out. Jeannie and Josh. New Strength, also following a lot of the same nutrition recommendations. Emma, the nutritionist coach, down in Australia. Rob Turner. Functional training systems.
Functional performance
There's a lot
systems.
of people out there doing this work.
Performance systems.
Sorry, my bad. So anyways, long
Beyond
story
Borg,
short.
Elvis Presley, Carl Jung, all the great nutritionists and physicists. We follow all of them. They're all great people. You should get to know them.
But to be honest, it's the idea is that there's a community of people out there that are trying to really help people get out of this cycle of over dieting and really jeopardizing their metabolism. And really what's happening with most diets and most programs out there that are being taught, unfortunately, and this is a huge marketing thing, right? We just know that a lot of these companies that are producing supplements or whatever they're trying to sell, it's a huge marketing thing. Okay, so let's be careful. Let's just be aware of the bigger picture, right? Because you got to follow the money trails. A lot of times it's a matter of where the money goes, right? So let's just be careful of this so you guys get a little bit more perspective on that.
Yeah, they mean well, and a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. And if you're looking at health and fitness through the lens of either if you lose weight it's good or if you gain weight it's bad, then there's a lot of bad advice out there regarding that. If you think that, and that's why people get so confused, because if so many people in the industry are pushing this because weight loss is healthy, then they're going to think weight loss is necessarily a good thing.
We're going to talk about that.
And the methods that they do.
There's so many claims, right? So then people will use claims like it's all natural, it's organic, it's good for you, it's going to improve your metabolism, it's going to make you lose weight or fat or whatever, right? Burn fat, whatever. Be careful of all the claims, guys. it's just, sometimes it requires just common sense, and sometimes, and a lot of times, it requires just educating yourself and working with the right people that have like done it and they understand it. And we understand there's a lot of professionals out there that recommend certain things, and it might not be their forte. So just be careful, okay? Just be careful. Always, always look out. You know, look for yourself, educate yourself, do some research. So that's always the number one thing we recommend. Now, let's talk about what we mean by diet.
What is diet?
Because we want to make sure that we're clear about this, because we can use diets in a lot of different ways. Your diet is basically what you're eating, right? Like, this is kind of like routinely eating. But when we talk about diet here, we're talking about restrictive dieting.
Yeah.
We're talking about removing entirely or mostly a whole food group, like proteins, like carbs, like fat. We're talking about removing a whole category of types of food, right? Or cutting out calories a lot, right? So you're basically creating a deficit. There's a restriction somewhere, and that's what we're talking about when we're talking about diets. Just wanted to clarify. So yeah, let's talk about that. How it works, really what happens when we're dieting. So, and this applies to most of the diets that we see out there. And here's a problem with dieting. Okay, the idea of a diet, and this is what most of us, even going to school, have been taught, right? If you want to lose weight, okay, you need to go on a diet. Okay, most people like have learned that. Even, I mean, doctors, there's a lot of people out there saying that, oh, you want to lose weight, you just got to go on a diet, okay? Or what we hear a lot, which is basically the same idea of a diet, is you need to create a deficit, right? So you just got to eat less than what you spend, which from a mathematical perspective makes a lot of sense. From the body, it doesn't make sense, because here's what happens. When you restrict the body from fuel, okay, whether it's protein, whether it's fat, whether it's sugar, it doesn't matter what it is. If you restrict the body from having enough fuel from what it needs, okay, and you spend more, okay, so you go to the gym, you go work out. So a lot of times what we see is people will eat less calories, they'll eat smaller portions, they'll cut out meals, or they'll just fast altogether, right? And they'll go exercise more. A lot of times people do both together. What happens is they create a deficit, right? And so they don't give as much in the body than they take out of the body. And what happens is this deficit causes a stress response in the body. Because if you don't give enough fuel and you ask more out of your body, automatically your body kicks into what we call it, like the backup generator mode, which is your stress hormones, right? Your stress hormones come to the rescue to save your freaking life. Because your body only cares about your survival. It doesn't care about, am I going to be here 30 years from now on the beach looking great? No, it thinks about, how am I going to survive from day to day, from hour to hour, right? So if you're not giving your body enough fuel, it will be like, oh, well, I need to figure out how to find this energy, right? So where do I find it? Well, there's only one place. It will go inside of you and find the energy within your body. So the great picture is you're eating yourself up. And that's a disaster. So basically what happens is when you don't give your body enough fuel, it will find it within your own body. And we're talking about not just fat, we're talking muscle tissues, bone density, organ density, everything. When you eat yourself up in order to give yourself the energy to function, over time, you might lose weight on the scale. So this is where people think, oh, my diet is working, like I'm doing Weight Watchers or whatever. I'm losing weight on the scale, and people think that losing weight equals getting healthier. And I know we talked a little bit about that, but we're gonna kind of talk about this again. We just want to clarify here that losing weight on the scale does not equal getting healthier. If you don't do it in a healthy way, it's not going to be healthier. Now, there's a healthy way to lose weight, obviously, and this is what we're going to talk about too.
Yeah, and you can just see when someone kind of loses over time weight in an unhealthy way, like by the way their body looks, loss of muscle tone, and you're kind of still kind of like sagging, but like your body's more fat. It's like the lack of definition. It's
you could see it, you know, it doesn't look very healthy.
Yeah, in their face, it's just...
Especially when it's too fast, too soon.
Yeah, there are many ways to lose weight, and most of them are unhealthy.
Yeah, let's just say that. You can lose weight in 1,000 different ways. it doesn't mean that most of them are going to be healthy. And this is what we need to clarify here. Losing weight does not equal getting healthier. So, and unfortunately, we have met some people that, I just want to lose weight. I don't care if it's healthy or not. I just want to lose weight. Well, if this is you, then this is not a conversation for you, perhaps. But if you really care about your health and you want to lose weight in a healthy way, beware of most of the diets trends out there, because most of them, what they're going to do is they're going to cause a metabolic deficit, and you're going to lose weight at the detriment of your health, because you're going to be using your own body tissues in order to produce the energy that you don't give the body, and you're going to lose weight in a very unhealthy way. Here's what happens when you put your body in a stress state for long periods of time, and over time, this is what we want to talk about. What happens is you forces the body to break down itself, and when you stay in that mode under stress, constantly using stress hormones, being in a catabolic mode, what happens over time is it creates this, it lowers your metabolism. Okay, so your system just basically says, oh well, I can keep up with the demand, so I'm going to slow down so I can survive, right? So this is what happens when you're with your metabolism. And here's the big picture. What happens a lot of times, people will go on a diet. They'll stay on a diet for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, sometimes longer than that, unfortunately. They'll lose some weight. They'll get some sort of results on the scale. And then the minute they stop, what happens?
I don't know where you're going, but
when they stop, a lot of times what people will say, they complain, they gain their weight back.
That's the thing. They gain the weight back, and usually more so because now their metabolism is slower. Their thyroid has some issues going on, which compromises, how you can handle food, and you'll put on weight easy. But yeah, you go on a diet, you remove something completely, or you remove a bunch of calories, and you're not getting certain macros, protein, carbs, or fats. And then when you go back to any sort of how you used to be eating, of course you're going to gain weight and usually fat, because you're intaking so much more calories. Your body doesn't know what to do with it because it's not used to it. So you gain fat and you put the weight back on, and then usually...
It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
We've seen so many women have gone through so many diets.
Diet, restrict.
Boom, boom, boom.
Craving, binging, unhappy, then you're gaining weight back, and then you go do that cycle again. You go on a diet, but then
it lowers metabolism.
It gets harder and harder to lose the weight as you get older, because, as we know, once you get to 40, you just get fat. But as you know, I'm joking. It's the accumulation of the diets through the years, the way of eating through the years. The stress, whether it's nutritional stress, physical stress, emotional stress,
so much stress,
thought stress. It's the accumulation over time that kind of slows you down.
So diets are not sustainable. They're not designed to get you healthy. They're not sustainable for your body. So what happens is people will not be able to sustain diets, right, for a very long time. Most of the time, if they do, it's a very terrible scenario, right? Because diets that are unhealthy will cause a lot of effects and symptoms, right? You'll feel like tired all the time. You'll have trouble sleeping through the night. You might have like a lot of mood swings or mood issues, right? You might have lots of cravings. You might end up doing a lot of binge eatings on the weekends or at night or whatever. Headaches. So there's so many side effects to dieting. It's not very sustainable. You don't feel good, and over time, and if you keep doing this, or if you stay on the diet for very long, these side effects turn into bigger problems. Thyroid issues. People are dealing with slow thyroid or hypothyroidism. They're diagnosed as hypothyroidism. Is a long-term effect of putting the body under stress for way too long, and dieting is one of them. There's also lack of sleep. There's also lots of external stress. Proper way of dealing with stress too. There's also a perception to stress that's very important as well. But there's so many ways to affect the body, but people don't understand that dieting is such a stress on the body, and that is why it's not healthy, and it's not a sustainable way to lose weight. And actually, it's not going to make you healthier. Even though you might drop 30 pounds on the scale, it doesn't mean you're getting healthier. Okay, so I think that's the point we need to get across here. Yes, maybe you say, oh, but I did Weight Watchers and it worked for me. What do you mean it worked for you? It worked for you because you lost 30 pounds on the scale? Okay. Yeah. So your objective was to lose 30 pounds, but were you trying to get healthier? If you were trying to get healthier, then perhaps it didn't work for you. How do you know it worked for you? Most people don't know because they don't know how to assess metabolism. And if you don't know how to assess body temperature and pulse, and where your metabolic rate looks like, you will never know if it's actually working for you or against you. And most diets, we can tell you right now, are not working for you. Most diets, okay? Because most diets are restrictive. They won't give you enough energy, and it will require for your body to go into a stress state no matter what, and force the body to break down itself in order to produce the energy you don't give it, okay? So that's the problem with diets. Okay, do you want to add anything about diets?
It's just when people chase the number on the scale, you're not going after health. You're going after, some delusion of thinking if I lose this, then I'll be healthy and happy. And that's a quick fix approach that, which unfortunately, it's not going to be quick. You have to be patient and.
Well, that's a bigger problem, right? Okay, so there is the belief out there that, as we said earlier, that losing weight equals being healthier. Now you guys know that when you lose weight, it doesn't necessarily make you healthier. So just be aware of that. The second problem here we have is that we're dealing with a lot of people nowadays, especially in our society and our culture, are dealing with body image issues, and they think that when they change the way they look, they're going to be happier. And unfortunately, yes, working on your body and your health will make you better and feel happier. It does work, but you cannot. This is not the only thing you should be working on, because your inner work is so just as important, sometimes way more important. Your thought process, your belief process, working on your personal energy and everything that's going on inside of you, like getting to know yourself, self-discovery, getting deeper into your desires and who you are as a person is so much more important than just all the external things, because we're often looking at outside things, to confirm what is happening inside, instead of going inside and trying to work with you, because everything comes from inside. It's an inside out process, guys. Okay? And this is why we do this with nutrition, we do this with training, we do this with mindset. You cannot be oblivious and not go in and see what happens and work with yourself and trying to develop yourself as a person into this health and fitness journey, because ultimately you might get to your physical end goals, but you might not get the outcome that you're expecting, as being happier and feel better, right? Because it's kind of like it's like putting a band-aid on a problem, right? So you got to do both, right? You got to work on your physical body to feel better, move better through space.
You know what Taylor Swift says about Band-Aids?
What? No.
Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. Problem. There's so many testimonials of people who, so it has to be true. When they say, I didn't lose the weight, or I wasn't happy until I finally became happy with myself inside, and then I was able to be happy on the outside.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And that's the hard part, guys. We understand it. This is the scary stuff, because you got to go in and meet with self, and it's such a scary place to go. I promise. We're doing this work for ourselves. We do it with clients slowly but surely. This is a slow process. So here's our advice for that. Okay, you got to play the long game. You got to know what's important for you and figuring out your values. Because as a person, if your health is important and you really care about being a good role model for your kids or the people around you, and you want to be the best version of yourself, you really need not to be afraid to invest in yourself. And that means doing personal work on yourself. It means taking care of your health, taking care of your body. No, it doesn't matter where you start. You can start with exercise, that's totally fine, but eventually, you need to kind of work on all the pieces of it. How's your spiritual life? How is your nutrition? How's your sleep? How's your relationships? Your environment, everything. So all of this encompasses the health of a person, and for us, the health picture is bigger than just how's your body functioning.
How much
it's
you
more
bench.
than physical, right?
How much you bench.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of components to this, and of course, this is a personal thing. You got to figure out what works for you and how it resonates with you. But we wanted to clarify today that diets don't work, and they actually can work temporarily, in a sense of, if working for you means dropping pounds on the scale. Of course you can drop pounds on the scale. We could tell you tomorrow, go eat 1,000 calories and go run on a treadmill every day for an hour, and I promise you, you'll lose some weight. But you're not going to feel great. You're going to feel terrible. It's going to affect your health, and it's only going to be a temporary quick fix results that is going to kind of whiplash, like come back, you know, to you.
Yeah, you can't sustain that. And,
Yeah.
And once you go back to your normal habits, or you know, your normal life, or your normal way of eating, whatever, your body's just gonna get that stuff all back on at once.
So play the long game, guys, and that's what we preach here. Play the long games. Get out of the quick fixes approach. Beware of all the lose 7 pounds in 7 days type of program, and or like, you know, change your life
30
in
days
like 30
to
days.
beach body.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Get out of this. This is just, it is not going to serve you. It makes no sense. And ultimately, if your health is important, you want to be healthy for the rest of your life. So you want to build habits that are going to help you continue on, not just lose 30 pounds and be over it with. It never ends. When you want to be healthy, it's a journey. It's a way of being. It's not...
All that is miserable, too. All those,
Yeah.
Sweat and spend hours in the gym doing
Yeah.
cardio and then eating bland salads and kale and like restricting, like you're not enjoying food. People, you don't have to
Torturing yourself.
You don't have to torture yourself. You don't have to restrict. You don't have to eat as
That's another belief.
Kitty says, bird food.
Bird food, I
Like,
love
you know,
it.
nuts, seeds, and green salads. You know, you can eat good food, delicious food, enjoy.
That's another belief. People think they need to suffer to be healthy. That's a terrible thing. And that's, you know, again, it's not your fault. That's the society, the culture we live in. That's a lot of the things that's on TV, on internet, on the magazines. People think that, you know, we see so many like superstars, like, you know, drinking juice for like 30 days and I lost 30 pounds. Well, that's great. You probably harm your body. But
I don't eat until 5 p.m. I starve all day and then I
fasting, intermittent fasting and all that stuff. So, okay, guys, we covered it. Hopefully you understand it. This is kind of a very broad topic.
Yeah,
we can go in a lot of directions.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of context that we can't explain over this little short video span. But
the point is, you know, if you find yourself having to rely on dieting because you're trying to get healthy, lose some weight, we understand. And you've been caught up in the cycles of like diets constantly, it doesn't work, okay? And it's not your fault. Don't feel bad about it because you've been misled somehow, somewhere. And there's a better way. There's a better way, and this is the good news. And no matter how old you are or where you are in your life right now, you can always improve your metabolism. You can always improve your current situation to some extent. So here's the good news. The good news is there's a better way to do this, and you got to do this in a way of nourishing your body and nourishing yourself. So the solution is get out of that. Start listening to yourself. First of all, do a little bit of work on yourself. Do meditation, take care of yourself, do some self-care. That really helps reducing stress on the body overall, okay? Start with taking care more of yourself and reducing stress, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, stop coming from a destructive viewpoint and start coming from I'm going to build and I'm going to nourish my body and give it what it needs so that it can do.
I'm going to break down myself to get to my goals now. Like, we need to get out of that mode. That does not serve anyone. It's such a negative approach, So let's take a more positive approach to it. So change the mindset behind it. Okay, I'm going to start fueling more my body, eat delicious food that makes me happy. I'm going to give my body sleep and recovery, give my body proper movement, okay? So you got to, we recommend exercise, but sometimes people go on the other extremes, like they break down their bodies, they go run for days, they exercise, they overtrain. It's so typical nowadays. Give your body the type of exercise that feels good, then when you leave a training session or yoga class or whatever, a dance class, whatever class you're doing, you feel energized and good and not completely worn out, okay? Because that's not a sign that it's working for you if you feel like that after a training session, okay? You should feel better. Make sure that you are getting enough sleep. Like I said, vitamin D, movement, fun in your life. You're playing with your kids, playing with your friends, taking time to have coffee with people you love, whatever that is, right? But most importantly, when it comes to food, we recommend, you know, the type of optimal food we recommend for healing your metabolism, for improving your body composition, to help you lose body fat, not your whole weight, but just fat, focusing on the right things. You know, we don't recommend to cut out any of the macronutrients, so you should have protein, fats, and carbs in your normal diet. We recommend a lot of foods like root vegetables and fruits. Cutting out sugar is also another big myth out there, misconception. And of course, we're not talking about candies, we're talking about fruits and roots and really good types of sugar, because your body needs sugar or carbohydrates to thrive, you know. like carbs is the only fuel besides oxygen for your brain. So thinking about it, going on a low carb diet, it's completely insane. And you've probably seen people.
That's why you get all insane in the membrane.
Exactly, that's what happens when you go on a low carb diet. Nobody wants to be around you, right? So we know that.
Get off my couch!
Oh my god.
I've had carbs.
Low carbs diet. And then healthy proteins. A lot of stuff we recommend is like fish, seafood, liver,
wild
eggs,
fish,
dairy,
the crazy type of wild kind.
Gelatin, bone broth, all the good stuff.
Grass-fed meats,
good quality,
pasture,
especially
eggs.
good quality.
Yeah.
And then fat, saturated fats, coconut oil, grass-fed butter,
ghee.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. So, anyways, these are the basics of the healthy food, healthy types of optimal food we recommend. Again, it's all about balancing those and understanding how to eat. But eat throughout the day. Don't go on fasting strikes. Don't not eat after 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. Don't fast in the morning or skip breakfast. Fuel your body throughout the day. Make sure you're not going hungry. Listen to your body. Reconnect with yourself. Reach out to us if you have questions. And of course, if you'd like to work with us, let us know. We can help you. We can walk you through this process because, there's, this is just the very basics to get you guys out of the cycle of dieting and knowing that it doesn't work for you. But there's so much more information out there to learn. And it's simple. It's not always easy because we need to break down a lot of beliefs and patterns that we've been doing for years and years that don't work for us. But I promise you guys that it's not complicated. It should not torture you. It should be like a fun, healthy process. And it should feel good. It should feel good. If whatever you're doing currently does not get you better, get you out of symptoms, make you sleep better, make you feel more energized, then it's not working for you. Like literally.
Yeah, because it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good as well.
Yeah, and if you want to find out more information about it and you're not in the Pittsburgh area, you can't really work with us right now. We always recommend this amazing book from Kate Deering here, How to Heal Your Metabolism. So if you want to read more about it and understand a little bit more the nutrition side, especially of, getting out of those never-ending dietings, killing your body, killing your metabolism.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the...
And finding, setting free from all this.
Yeah.
Look out this book. We'll put the link under the comments, and so you guys can get this book because that's a little gem over there.
A lot of good information in there.
Yeah. All right. Morning, Ina. Morning, Tanya. Okay. All right. That's really cool. So, all right. So that's all for us. I think we covered a lot of stuff. Again, this is a huge topic, but we at least wanted to explain why diets don't work, why it's a problem over time, especially, and that it never leads to better health most of the time, like most of the diets out there. So you have to make sure you give your body what it needs, enough fuel, enough of everything, just enough exercise to feel good, proper sleep, stress reduction, do what feels right for you, what makes you happy, and also do the inner work because that's just as important. We've seen people on a perfect diet, perfect exercise program, and they're still not happy. Nutrition and exercise are not enough. Right? Yeah. We need to go in and work on yourself, okay? So
if I can give you one tip, I'll give you two. It's that failing is allowed and it's going to happen, so don't let that stop you from continuing.
I love it, yeah.
And just start being conscious and aware of trying to listen to how you react and how you're feeling when you're eating food and how it's making you feel, how your session in the gym is making you feel. So just start to listen and pay attention. Even if you're not sure what you're listening to and you might not be picking up everything or anything at all, just create that awareness to keep listening and keep seeing or feeling what you're feeling and then just take it one step at a time.
Yeah. Be good with yourself, guys. We're so conditioned to be hard on ourselves. It doesn't work. You guys know that. So, listen to yourself, give yourself some love, get to connect with yourself and do what feels right, what feels good, as opposed to always pushing through, and it's not sustainable. It doesn't work.
Happy body, happy mind.
Yay! All right, guys, that's all for us. Leave some comments if you have questions, if you want more information or anything, and we'll get back to you. You have a happy Saturday.
Be delicious.